Harry Potter scribe J.K. Rowling receives public apology from trans activists and drag queen who falsely accused her of being a Nazi.
I haven't watched the videos yet, but I did see the subject matter.
Okay. So according to what I know, I believe there's someone, basically everyone came and compared her to like the worst thing. She's like worse than Hitler, worse than Mao. She's like, she's the worst ever, right? Because you wrote something that I love. You wrote something that's near and dear to my heart. And if you don't apologize and do all these things right now, I'm gonna be pissed. And she's like, no, I'm not doing that. I'm standing my ground. I believe in what I said, and I'm not gonna take any of that back. So it's sort of like, imagine you if you really, really love and adored an IP from, let's say, Grae, what is your favorite game of all time, or favorite media, or like anything?
Game. For a game, it's hard to put it in to nail it down to one IP.
Mhm.
Which but
Or a
actually,
series,
yeah.
series or something.
Yeah, actually it's not actually it was a good thing that I brought up Horizon, because it's
Mhm.
confirmed that Sony is making what do you call this? A TV series out of that one. So
Yeah.
I'm expecting a trailer maybe this year or next year. So that's actually a big I'm actually worried about that one, because it's easy for them to insert identity politics on that one.
Mhm.
So yeah, I'd be really annoyed if they did something to that, to the main character in that one. But then again, it's a touchy subject. For the case of Horizon, it's a touchy subject, because one of the criticisms of Horizon is the main character Aloy. She's a bit of like a Mary Sue. So so it's like, if they change her to be more humane, to be relatable, I think it might upset some people. At the same
Mhm.
time, if they continue on how she really is in the game, people are gonna say, "Oh, she's a Mary Sue," stuff like that. So it's kind of a slippery slope for her. But is it like, I think they're gonna make some changes for like Kratos in the God of War TV series. So
Mhm.
yeah, it's gonna be interesting how that turns out. But yeah, back to what you just said. It's like, yeah, I'd be upset if they like overhaul the story to when they insert, like, they make this character just to fit into their woke agenda or
Mhm.
what they want to preach. It's kind of, it destroys the integrity of the IP, which makes me sad.
Okay. So let's use the most recent thing that we said. So you're enjoying and you like the game of Horizon.
Mhm.
So let's say if all of a sudden the creator came out and said something that you are absolutely against, right? Now, it's sort of like, I love this IP. I love Horizon. I love what they did with the universe. And the creator came out and said something that I'm extremely against. Like, it's sort of like, oh, that sucks. Like, now, do you want them to apologize for that? Do you want them? Are you going to call them a Nazi for that? Or do you want them to get canceled for that?
No, of course not. It's like, at
Mhm.
the end of the day, it's their story, it's their IP, so they get to decide what they want to do with that character, what or how they want to move forward. Of course, I'm gonna vet some frustrate. Oh, why did you do this? Why did you do that? Do that? But I'm not gonna call her stuff like. I'm not gonna try to cancel her, call her a Nazi. Yeah, That's pretty insane.
So that's what I feel like these people are doing, is because they loved Harry Potter. They read all the books. They went to the Cursed Child like play in London or something like that. They played all the video games, and the fact that now a game that came out that it's like they're like the best Harry Potter game there ever was, according to them, but you can't play it, is because the person that created this IP said something that you are absolutely against. So I think that's the reason why they are so up in arms about this. This is because, like, you have this vision of like loving this IP, loving this author for a long time, and actually at the end finding out that this person is said something that's against what you thought. It's gonna shatter your whole entire reality. So I think that's the reason why they're so upset, right? And I I can try to understand that, but that's where, as an artist, like, you want to separate art from the artist, but sometimes it's hard to do that. I know it's hard, like especially with Blizzard, right? Blizzard with the whole thing where like a person committed suicide is because they were, used around the office or something. Something that happened in Riot, something that happened in all these other companies. It's like sometimes you can't support that. I remember I was playing I bought Diablo 2 Resurrection. And I believe someone in my chat says, how can you support this company? How can you buy it? How can you buy
Oh,
this game?
really? Okay.
Yeah,
I wasn't there. I wasn't there. But
yeah.
okay.
They're like, how can you buy this game knowing that what they did? And then I told them the reason why I had to separate the art from the artist is because of two things. First, the people who worked on the game has nothing to do with what happened.
Yep.
Right.
Mhm.
So they worked their asses off. They worked overtime, and they did their damnedest to make sure that this game comes out well. So you're basically, if you're trashing this game, boycotting the game, you're also hurting the people who worked on it, which has
Yep.
nothing to do with anything. Second is that the game was important to me, is because I wanted to play it, because this was something that I grew up playing. When my parents were going through a divorce, when my stepmom, when my first stepmom was being a crazy person, trying to like kick me out of the house and stuff like that. Like this was the game that I played to sort of like get out of my reality, and it is an escapism that I needed. That's the reason why it's important to me. But a lot of these people who are activists can't separate that. And that's what drives them crazy. They're like, you have to apologize so I can play the game. You have to do it. You have to be canceled so I can play the game. So it sucks. Is because the experience that I'm getting from playing Hogwarts Legacy is, I feel bad for them. Is because
They're missing out.
they're missing out. Yeah, yeah, exactly. They're missing out on the experience of finally creating your own character. You're not playing as Harry. You're playing as yourself. You're flying through open world, doing whatever the fuck you want, and you got the fact that you're so like, I cannot separate the art from the artist. So I really want to cancel her so I can play, but you're missing out on that. And yeah, it's like I agree with you. In a massive moment of eating crow, a transgender activist who publicly and proudly accused Harry Potter creator J.K. Rowling of being a literal Nazi over her personal views on transgender issues, has come forward and offered an apology for his behavior. The situation surrounding Rowling and the activist Irish drag queen J.J. Wells first began on December 27th, 2022, when the latter took his personal brand and combative advocacy to Twitter. Replying to a tweet by retired Stamford City police officer and veteran gay activist Fred Sargent, who is not only participated in the Stonewall's riot, but also helped organize very first Pride March. Sorry, in which he shared a meme declaring LGB people owe trans people nothing. Trans people owe LGB people everything. And then noted, wanker Owen Joe Wells attacked. Trust me, nobody is gonna make you famous. You outdated old dinosaur. Your hateful views and bullshit you spread have to be have seen to that. You're obsolete and you won't be around much longer. And thank God for that, because ACAB. You know what ACAB stands for?
I was about to ask. I don't know what ACAN is.
All cops are bastards,
Oh,
because
okay.
they hate cops. A lot of the activists who are part of this group too, along with the BLM folks, they do not like cops. It's just it's just that they just don't like cops.
Oof.
It's like the fuck the police crew. All cops are bad, or
Bastard.
all cops are bastards. Yeah, it's and especially you, traitor. So basically, just because that guy was a cop, like any cop related thing, they just hate, right? And then you have over here some from Fred Sargent, LGBT people owe trans people nothing, trans people owe, and then we read all of this already. From there, Wells would spend the next few days aggressively engaging with and attempting to antagonize his ideological opponents, in particular Sargent, before ultimately finding himself in the crosshairs of Father Ted co-creator Graham Linehan. Linehan? I think so.
Or Linehan? I'm not sure.
Linhan. Yeah, probably. The prominent critic of transgender politics, Linhan, found himself taken aback by how, in the course of his wild swingings, Wells had written off Sergeant and actor James Dreyfus as nothing more than scumbags. Wow, this guy's going. This
Yeah,
guy's going hard.
it's pretty unhinged.
Yeah, pretty nutty. See that, and that I think people just need to get off Twitter from time to time. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah,
just go
yeah.
outside, breathe
Yes.
fresh air, not breathing in your own stench because probably haven't showered in ages. In the light of Linhan entering the discourse, one Wells supporters felt the need to offer the activist both support and thanks by promoting his career. Twitter bully Graham Linhan is currently encouraging his 500,000 followers to harass this lad. Linhan is obsessed with posting screenshots of his tweets and mocking him, so I'm giving his spotlight page a boost. So this person calls to arms was soon countered by a fellow Twitter user who was asserted, read up on this lad who does exactly the same. If he can't take it, he shouldn't dish it out, dodging all her points and failing to recognize the hypocrisy of the man he was supporting. You think he deserves to be humiliated by a man with 500,000 followers, many who have replied to him with abuse, and Graham has been mocked, has even mocked his career. You think that is just fine, Jane? Wow. So this person is like going after everyone. This person is nutty. Refusing to let G. Rao creates ignore the disingenuous nature of Wells' own social media activity go. Another Twitter user, I'm not going to say that, countered. You think it's fine publicly to incite violence towards a woman just because he doesn't like her views? And you think it's you guys who aren't the bigots? Yeah, it's basically fascism. Right? In my opinion, it's some sort of fascism, and then like they're trying to like get this person fired. It's sort of like what happened with the what's that game? Was it a that
Gamergate?
girl? No,
Ga-
not Gamergate. That girl, Ready. I forgot. That the girl that got fired from her job because she was playing. She was gonna play Hogwarts Legacy.
the one in limited run. I forgot
Yeah,
her name
limited
too.
run game. Yes,
Yeah.
right. It's sort of like they want that to happen, and they celebrate it whenever it happens. Like I'm pretty sure like a lot of people would love the fact that like if people would just got let go from their jobs because of like, oh, just because you have an American flag in your bio, or you
Follow a
follow Donald Trump
channel.
or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's sad. However, likewise, refusing to let activists and his supporters gaslight the public. Cindy Black interjected, "Why lie? We have receipts." And I believe you can actually use like the Wayback Machine, which is like a thing that actually goes back before they
Yeah.
deleted their
If they
accounts, right?
deleted a tweet.
Yeah, and a lot of people do, right? Like I believe Mindy Kaling deleted her like promotion like tweets for
Yeah,
Velma.
yeah, exactly. That's what I kept saying that to the people in comments in the Vilma shows. Like, if season 2 is so good, or if the show was so good, thanks. Because
Mhm.
like a part of them is blaming us because of our shorts. It's gaining so much traction to say their reasoning is like it's because of these that it's promoting the show. I was like, if it was so good, why is Mindy Kaling so silent about it? Why hasn't season 2 been confirmed? I mean, it's in development, but that doesn't mean it's confirmed. So yeah,
Yeah.
that usually shuts them up.
Well, the thing is that like you can have you know like Warner Brothers has known to actually have things that are about like 90% done, and then they canceled it,
Mhm.
right? Like Batgirl was one of the
Yeah,
things, right?
and I
Like it
compare
was
it
done already.
to The Last of Us. Like The Last of Us came out later, but yet it got confirmation of renewal after like episode 2.
Yeah.
But Velma, it's still in limbo.
Like in my opinion, just get rid of it. Get rid of it. No one needs to see that, right? Let's see. Alongside declaration, Cindy Black shared the screenshot, now deleted September 2022. I mean 2020, a tweet made by Wells in which he declared J.K. Rowling was one of my childhood idols, but that was before she was a transphobic piece of shit. I'm assuming that's shit. How confident is she that she's a witch that won't burn? You've got stake. You got a stake in that begs to put it to rest. Yeah. So basically, she said that we want to burn you alive, right? It's like, oh, I want to try to burn you alive. Let's this stakes that begs to be put to test. I want to test if I can burn you alive. And the thing is that majority of these folks who goes online and bitch about things that they don't agree with and just like, oh, see right here, F JK Rowling, right? Hashtag a JK Rowling is over party. And I would say if you actually see them in real, like face to face, majority of the time they will not say anything. Right.
Yeah,
The only reason why
yeah.
they feel that they should say that is
It's
because they think
there.
that they
Yeah,
can and they can get away with it. Because
yeah, and
activism,
yeah. Like you said last podcast, like, they're behind the keyboard, so it's very easy to say stuff like that.
yeah. Taking notice of the criticism being leveled his way over this tweet, Wells would later join the conversation himself to explain, well, to be fair, the woman in question wasn't actually being threatened with being burned alive, hyperbolic metaphor based on the original tweet, but you know that you're playing dumb intentionally for clout. And she also is a Nazi, or at least the views that align with them. Right. So basically calling someone a Nazi. Okay, here's the thing. Freedom of speech, in my opinion, should be absolute unless you are calling for violence. Unless you're like, we should go to this person or we should do this, we should, do physically harm someone, right? That's when it's not okay. If you're saying something, hey, you're this, you're that. But the thing is that the word Nazi has such a bad connotation to it that it itself was like, it's, it's calling someone a Nazi. It's like, oh, then we should go out there and punch them in the faces because, it's they don't know that the power of their words they're using, especially if this person is like unhinged, like you mentioned, how they're so, filled with hatred. And that's the reason why they need to go outside and just
Yeah, and
stop sniffing their own farts.
yes, for me, it's slightly different from yours. Like, in here, it's usually when stuff like when someone goes unhinged in social media here. It's the reasoning is usually, yeah, you're free to say whatever you want. There's freedom of speech, that's true. But it's do not mistake freedom of speech from freedom of accountability.
Mhm.
So if something happens because of what you said, you have to own up to it. You can free to say whatever you want, how no matter how unhinged or how insulting it is. But if something happens, you have to take it. You have to take responsibility for what happens.
Yeah, absolutely. And the thing is that they don't know what freedom really is. Like, imagine if you were to go to Thailand, right? Thailand has a king, they're a monarch.
Mhm,
Imagine you say F the king publicly,
mhm.
you'll probably get thrown in jail, most likely, or worse. Same thing with if you were to go to China and say something about Xi Jinping, right? You say something, even on WeChat, right? So
Yeah.
WeChat. So I use WeChat because that's how my parents communicate. So I have to use it, and then that's the reason why I get all these like spam calls to say "ni hao, or something like that, and buy all these things. We have your social security number or whatever.
Yeah.
But the thing is that they track you on WeChat. Even on WeChat, they track you. If you were to post something on WeChat, because there's actually like a post feature like Facebook, if you actually post something there, they can track you, triangulate you, and actually kick down your door and arrest you because you said something that made Xi Jinping look bad, right? Honestly, I'm not mad that people are starting to realize that the Harry Potter universe is always garbage. I think overall, if the activists didn't say anything about Harry Potter, the game wouldn't have been as well
Yeah.
received,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
right.
Especially after playing the games, like, yeah, it's a good game. Don't get me wrong, it's a good game for sure, but it's not groundbreakingly amazing. That's what I think. At least it's not the best thing I've ever played for a long, long time. No, it's a good game, but it's not ground shattering amazing. It's because of what the woke mob did. That's why the numbers got so inflated.
Hmm. Yeah,
It really ended up doing the opposite.
yeah. I think I think overall, like Grace said, like if you are a normie, the game is like it's solid, right? It's like a 7, maybe an 8, like you said, like maybe an 8. But if you're a Harry Potter fan, it's like a 10. So, but if you're not a Harry Potter fan, then you're like, who gives a shit? Like I don't care, right? Yeah. Instead of holding all it to myself saying give me money, I thought this idea might prove to be helpful. There's music that you can make for it too. I think you're talking about talking to Alan about this one. But yeah. Oh, here it is. This one. Yeah. What Grae said, not groundbreaking. The idea it has is good though. Yeah, I think overall, I think it's fine. I think overall the game is fine. I think you're drawing more attention to it than it needs to be, and it's sort of like I mentioned in the last podcast, like people will be intrigued and why is this game being canceled? Why is this game being boycotted? Maybe I should buy it. And a lot of people hate, especially here in the States, being told what to do. Right? A lot of people in general hate being told what to do. Hey, don't do this. Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it even harder. Right? It's sort of like I don't do that. It's like a kid. Hey, don't open that. Don't you open that. And then you see the kid slowly opening a bag of chips. It's like, don't open it. You still have one. Don't you do it. Don't and then they do it anyways. It's
Yeah,
because
sure.
we're just kids, especially like with a video game. It's like, hey, don't tell me what to do. Like shit. Like it's and that's what happened. You gave it the publicity it needed. You gave it that marketing. It's free publicity, right? Following a break from social media platform for the holidays, itself preceded by him personally flagging many users who disagreed with him. Wells would once again begin posting to his account on December 29th. Upon his return, Twitter user Lefty Unwoke mocked, and he's back. Turns out your pitiful mass flagging of opposing views didn't bear fruits you hoped for. Stay pressed, you joke of an activist. And now, continuing, this is where J.K. Rowling comes in. It was at this point controversy Wells' attempt at a dig that Rowling found herself among those unable to let activists' bad face tantrums continue. The thing about solicitors game is everyone can play, JJ. This is directly from J.K. Rowling. I ignore your hyperbolic metaphor about burning me to death in 2020, but I'm starting to think that was a mistake. What's your solicitor's views on Nazi accusation? What they advise you to defend it in court? So basically, it's like, do you want to go to court? I have $1 billion.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't need this to happen. But if you want,
Yeah,
you want to go to court, we can go to court.
yeah. I, I,
It's sort of
I
like,
like I can
hey, go
do
ahead.
this just because I'm bored, or I just want to be entertained with
Yeah,
bringing you down, like literally,
it's like, oh, you
literally.
want to play? You
Uh-huh.
want to play? Right? Basically, it's like, all
Yeah,
right, I'll do it. And then, well, embarrassingly replied, we meet at last. To think that you were once an icon to me. I think you absolutely have views that align with Nazis. I think Fred also views that aligns with Nazis. I think relying on tropes and stereotypes is very 1930s propaganda. Let's be realistic, he followed up. Anti Semitic tropes in a children's book are one thing, but implying and encouraging the idea that a protected group of vulnerable people need to be eradicated and don't deserve protection, that is not the woman we idolized as children. So here's the thing, like I mentioned, if you think that the goblins in the Harry Potter books are anti Semitic because you think that they are Jewish people, then you are the anti Semitic. It's like no one brought that up. Okay. Are there actually anti Semitic tropes in some of this writing? Not saying hers, but on TV, movies, and stuff like that? Yes, there are. But the thing is that no one made that comparison until you did it, right? I'm pretty sure some people brought it up. Some people might maybe just brought up as a question. But in turn, Roland would pity Wells, explaining, JJ, if anybody close to you had your best interest at heart, they strongly advise you to not keep handing my lawyers ammunition. And she's like, let's go. Let's go. You want to go to court? Yeah, setting aside the burning at the stake tweet you posted about me, which you now claim was a metaphor and which I ignored against advice, you'd publish defamatory statements about me and are compounding the offense by saying I'm encouraging the eradication of a group of vulnerable people. All of this came about in the context of you attacking Fred Sargent, gay rights icon, and wishing for his death. I understand you and your ilk feel untouchable. observed Rowling, who then signed off. I understand that in your own minds, your heroes of unimpeachable righteousness, justified in slurring, defaming, and threatening. You were the one who dragged his lawyer into this. So by all means, let's go to lawyers. Yeah, and of course, she is like, all right, I'm gonna take you to court if you continue. If you want to continue, I'll take you to court. And that's where things remained until January 13th, which is not long ago, where
Yeah.
seemingly apropos of nothing, Wells announced in his personal Twitter, I would like to publicly apologize for a previous Twitter thread where I interacted with J.K. Rowling on matters relating to the transgender community. I have now removed those tweets and would like to apologize to J.K. Rowling directly for causing potential upset. 1 out of 3. I failed to choose my words with care and would like to retract my previous statements relating to her views on the LGBT plus and more specifically transgender people. I would also like to retract my liking to J.K. Rowling to any far right or Nazi organization and emphasize I do not wish any individual, inclusive of J.K. Rowling, to come to any harm. So he basically said, "Oh fuck,
Oh,
I fucked around and found out."
I messed up.
This sort of reminds me of this Key and Peele skit. And if you don't know what Key and Peele is, it's do you know what Key and Peele is? It should be a comedy, like a comedy thing.
No, I'm not sure. I don't think so.
So there's one they did a skit where it's like he won like a Super Bowl competition, right? And this guy's like, yeah, yeah, we won. Oh, kids, you can do whatever you dream of. You can do whatever you want. You got it. You can do whatever. Don't let your dreams be dreams. You can become a unicorn. You can jump out your window. You can run out to the freeway and you can do whatever you want. Kids, run. This is not a game. I want you to jump out of your second floor window. Go out to the freeway with all the cars and you will literally turn into a robot. And then the next thing he goes, I would like to apologize for what I said before. I didn't mean to say all those things. I know a lot of kids got hurt. So he had to apologize because he was so like hyped up. He was hyped up on adrenaline, hyped up on that, and he had to make a public apologies because he wasn't thinking. He was just hyped up on whatever. And this is what this person was thinking too. Wells probably felt the need that like I'm getting all these likes, I'm getting all these retweets, I'm getting all these backing, and then all of a sudden when shit hits the fan, he's like, "Oh, like a public apologize. I didn't mean any of the things I said." It's basically like that, exactly the same.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's pretty funny, right? Yeah. What? Grae doesn't know Key and Peele? No way. It's pretty funny. I would check it out. Like some of their skits are actually pretty funny. It's sort of like Dave Chappelle style. Like it's sort of like a skit. They come out, they do
Oh,
something, and then
okay.
talk about it. Yeah. Let's see. Nah, he's seen some clips. There's no way he hasn't seen them before. Yeah, you might have seen some. You
Maybe,
might have seen some.
maybe. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah. Yo, this one's hilarious. The ghetto Hogwarts one they did, it was funny. It's like it's called like Hogwarts in the inner city. And what happens? You know how like Hogwarts is like one of many schools, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So there's one school that's like in the inner city where it's like this there's a lot of crime, right? There's a lot of crime and stuff like that. And then it's like little kids like killing each other. And then you see like one of the professors, like it's like one of the groundskeeper, and he comes up, he's like, boom, he goes, knock it off, god damn it. He starts like yelling at them. That one's pretty funny too, if you like Harry Potter stuff. But going back to this one. However, as of writing, whether or not he has compelled to make this apology under the threat of the law remains unconfirmed. Yeah, so the thing is that like she basically threatened him and said, if you want to go to war, I can meet you in court. Is he good? Because like this is especially she has billions of dollars, so she could have
Yeah.
a lot of money to hire like 100 lawyers to like ruin your career. Thanks for checking out this segment of the Project Eggroll podcast. If you like what we do here, please like, share, subscribe,
hit the notification bell and you will know next time when we go live. We do go live every Saturday at 8 p.m. Once again, we are just getting started. Tons of more video to come. Thanks, and we'll see you guys next time.